No one believed the little girl until the bikers walked in and stopped the wedding. In a quiet town nestled between rolling hills and whispering pines, 12-year-old Emma clutched her worn-out teddy bear tighter than ever before. Today was supposed to be a celebration, her oldest sister Madison's wedding day, but instead of joy, Emma felt only dread. She had seen the bruises on Madison's wrist, heard the hushed arguments behind closed doors, watched as Derek, the groom, smiled for photos while his eyes stayed cold and sharp like broken glass. Every time Emma tried to speak up, she was brushed aside. "You're just a child, Emma. You don't understand love. Stop making things up." But Emma knew what she saw, and she knew her sister was in danger. The church was filled with white roses, golden ribbons, and smiling faces. Guests chatted over champagne, unaware that inside the bride's heart, fear had replaced hope. Madison stood at the altar, her hands trembling, her smile forced. She kept glancing toward the back, toward Emma, who sat alone in the third pew, tears silently streaming down her cheeks. Just as the pastor began to speak, the heavy wooden doors creaked open. A hush fell over the room. In walked 5 men, tall, leather-clad, tattoos peeking from beneath their sleeves. Their boots echoed like thunder. At their lead was a man with a grizzled beard and eyes that held both fire and sorrow. His vest bore the name Reaper and the emblem of the Hell's Angels. Gasps rippled through the crowd. Someone whispered, "What are they doing here?" Emma didn't hesitate. She bolted from her seat, weaving through stunned guests until she reached the front. With tears soaking her cheeks and voice shaking, she grabbed Reaper's hand and looked up into his eyes. "Please," she begged, "you have to stop this wedding. My sister, he hurts her. He's going to hurt her more if she says I do. I've told everyone, but no one listens. Please, you're my last hope." For a moment, the world stood still. Then Reaper knelt. He looked not at the crowd, not at the groom, but straight into Emma's soul. And in that gaze, he saw truth. He stood, turned to Madison, and said firmly, "Is it true?" Madison froze, her breath hitched. Then slowly she pulled back her sleeve, revealing a fresh bruise, purple and angry. I can't go through with this," she whispered, her voice breaking. "I'm scared." That was all the confirmation the bikers needed. Derek lunged forward, shouting, "She's lying! This is my wife!" But 2 bikers stepped in front of him like walls of stone. "Not today," one growled. Within minutes, police arrived, called by a quick-thinking guest who'd witnessed everything. They found not only evidence of abuse, but also outstanding warrants against Derek for domestic violence in 2 other states. He was arrested on the spot. As chaos settled, Reaper gently placed a hand on Emma's shoulder. "You were brave, little one," he said. "Braver than most adults I know." That night, the Hell's Angels didn't ride off into the sunset. They stayed. They found Madison and Emma a safe apartment, paid their first month's rent, and connected them with counselors. What began as a desperate plea became a lifeline. Over the next few weeks, Emma's story spread like wildfire. News outlets called it the day the angels saved a sister. Social media erupted with messages of support. People began sharing their own stories of being silenced, of being doubted, of finally being heard. And something beautiful happened. Inspired by Emma's courage, the local chapter of the Hell's Angels launched a domestic violence outreach program. Within a year, chapters across the country followed. They trained members to recognize signs of abuse, partnered with shelters, and even escorted survivors to court. The world watched in awe as men once feared became protectors of the vulnerable. Emma never forgot that day. As she grew, so did her mission. At 18, she founded Emma's Courage Fund, a nonprofit dedicated to empowering children who witness or experience domestic violence. By 30, her organization had saved thousands. By 50, it operated in over 60 countries. 200 years later, historians would point to that small-town church as the birthplace of a global movement. The building itself was transformed into the Emma and Madison Family Protection Center, where survivors find safety, healing, and hope. And every year, on the anniversary of that fateful wedding that never was, a group of bikers still gathers outside the center, not in leather and defiance, but in solidarity and service. They light candles, share stories, and remind the world, sometimes the smallest voice speaks the loudest truth. If you believe in second chances, if you believe that kindness can wear a leather jacket and still have a heart of gold, then please like, share, and subscribe to ACA Story Tales. Your support helps us bring more stories like Emma's to millions around the world, stories that heal, inspire, and remind us that no one is too young to change the world. And hey, drop a comment below. Tell us where you're watching from, because somewhere out there, someone needs to hear this story. And maybe, just maybe, you'll be their angel today. Thanks for watching.